At precisely 11:17 p.m. on October 14, 2022, Sarah Miller's phone lit up for the last time. It wasn't a cry for help. It wasn't a name. It was a photograph, a seemingly mundane snapshot that would become the key to unlocking a mystery that had baffled an entire community for 2 years. The search for 34-year-old Sarah Miller has entered its third week, with police stating they have no solid leads. Her family is desperate for answers. Sarah's mother, Elaine, crying please, if anyone knows anything. She wouldn't just leave. She wouldn't leave her daughter. Sarah's sister, Chloe, we just need to know what happened. Even if it's the worst possible news, this not knowing, it's a special kind of hell. It consumes you. It poisons every happy moment. We can't move forward because we're trapped in that night. Sarah Miller was a vibrant, 34-year-old graphic designer and single mother from the quiet suburb of Cedar Brook. To her friends, she was the life of the party. To her 7-year-old daughter, Lily, she was the entire world. But behind her infectious smile, Sarah was navigating a minefield. The morning of October 14th started like any other for Sarah. She packed Lily's lunch, dropped her at school, and headed to her home studio. But that day held a secret meeting, one she had been both dreading and anticipating for months. Today, she was finally meeting with her lawyer to formalize a restraining order against her ex-boyfriend, Mark Davies. Mark had been charming at first, a whirlwind romance that quickly turned suffocating. What began as possessive comments escalated into controlling her finances, isolating her from friends, and showing up unannounced at her work. The final straw had been 2 weeks prior, when he'd shoved her during an argument over Lily, leaving a bruise on her arm she'd carefully hidden with long sleeves. Her best friend, Mia, had seen the photo Sarah secretly took of that bruise. "You have to get out, Sarah. Now." Mia had pleaded, her voice tight with fear. "I watch these true crime shows. It always starts like this." Sarah had nodded, her own fear a cold stone in her stomach. "I know. I'm dealing with it. I just have to do this right for Lily's sake." That afternoon, after a successful but emotionally draining meeting with her lawyer, Sarah seemed lighter. She picked up Lily from school, and they went for ice cream, a small celebration of a step toward freedom. She texted Mia a photo of Lily with a chocolate-covered grin. The caption, "Taking our life back. One scoop at a time." But as evening fell, the anxiety crept back in. At 8:45 p.m., she texted Mia again. "Mark's been driving past the house. I saw his car twice. I called the non-emergency line. They said they'd send a car when available." At 10:02 p.m., her texts grew more frantic. "He's parked across the street. Just sitting there. Headlights off." Mia, who lived 20 minutes away, responded immediately, "Call 911 right now. I'm on my way." For the next hour, the texts were one-sided. Mia's messages of, "Sarah, answer me," and "the police are there," went unread. Then, at 11:17 p.m., Mia's phone chimed. It was a photo from Sarah. It was dark, grainy, taken from a low angle as if the phone had been hastily pointed and the shutter clicked. It showed a section of her living room floor, an overturned lamp, and in the blurry corner of the frame, the distinct, scuffed toe of a man's work boot, a boot Mia had seen Mark wear 100 times. There was no caption, just a photo. Private investigator James Croft, later hired by the family, would call it a digital dying declaration. "In moments of extreme panic, people don't have time to type," he explained. "They fumble with their phone. They hit the camera button." That single image told us everything we needed to know. There was a struggle, Sarah was likely on the ground, and Mark Davies was there. That photograph was Sarah Miller's final message to the world. Her phone was never used again. When Mia and the police arrived at Sarah's house just before midnight, the front door was slightly ajar. The house was silent. Inside, they found signs of a struggle, the overturned lamp from the photo, a knocked-over vase, and Sarah's purse spilled on the kitchen floor, its contents scattered. But Sarah and Lily were gone. Mark Davies's car was gone, too. The official investigation began with Mark as the prime suspect. When detectives contacted him the next morning, He had a story ready. He claimed Sarah had called him, hysterical, asking him to come over because she thought someone was trying to break in. He said when he arrived, the house was in disarray and Sarah, in a panic, had begged him to take her and Lily to her sister's house in a neighboring state for a few days. He claimed he dropped them off at 2 a.m. and hadn't heard from them since. The story was flimsy, and it began to unravel immediately. Sarah's sister, Chloe, confirmed she had not seen or heard from Sarah. There was no record of Sarah's phone calling Mark that night. In fact, her call log showed multiple ignored calls from him. More disturbingly, Mark's behavior in the following days was not that of a concerned friend. He didn't join search parties. He didn't plaster the neighborhood with missing person flyers. Instead, he was seen at a local hardware store, purchasing heavy-duty trash bags, bleach, and a new shovel. When a store clerk, a friend of Mia's, later came forward, she said Mark had seemed jittery, not sad. He also took the week off work, telling his boss he had family business to attend to. He was later spotted on a traffic camera driving toward the remote, state-owned woodland known as Blackwater Falls, an area he was known to frequent for hunting. When police searched his apartment with his consent, a move investigators saw as arrogant, they found his apartment spotless, reeking of chemical cleaners. His car had been meticulously detailed, inside and out. In the trunk, a forensic team using luminol discovered the faint, ghostly glow of bleach residue, indicating a frantic attempt to clean up biological evidence. But there was nobody. No Lily. No murder weapon. Without direct evidence, the case began to stall. To understand Sarah's fate, one had to understand the world Mark Davies had built around her. Friends came forward with stories that painted a picture of escalating terror. Mark wasn't just a bad boyfriend, he was a master manipulator. He had convinced Sarah that her friends were jealous, that her family didn't understand their love, and that he was the only one who truly cared for her and Lily. He'd installed a tracking app on her phone under the guise of safety. He'd secretly taken photos of her personal documents, including her social security card and bank statements. Mia testified in a preliminary hearing that Sarah had become a ghost of her former self. She was always looking over her shoulder. She'd jump when her phone buzzed. "The last time I saw her," she whispered, "I'm scared he's going to take Lily away from me. Or worse." She truly believed he was capable of making them both disappear. The financial control was also significant. Mark had pressured Sarah into co-signing a loan for his truck. After she disappeared, he stopped making payments, leaving her estate liable. He also accessed her personal laptop, which was synced to her cloud storage, and attempted to delete files in the days following her disappearance that tech experts were later able to recover. Every piece of the puzzle pointed to one man. The boot in the photo, the flimsy alibi, the purchase of cleaning supplies, the trip to the woods, the financial motives, and the history of coercive control. The circumstantial case was powerful, but it wasn't enough for a murder charge. The community's outrage grew as Mark Davies continued to walk free, a constant, haunting reminder to Sarah's family that her killer was still out there. For 22 months, Sarah's family refused to give up. They held vigils, maintained a social media campaign, and worked tirelessly with private investigator James Croft. The breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a geology student. The student was on a field trip in the Blackwater Falls area, collecting rock samples, when he stumbled upon a child's hair tie, caught on a thorny bush. It was a small, sparkly unicorn hair tie. He remembered the news stories about the missing little girl, Lily, who loved unicorns. He called the police. A massive, targeted search was launched in that precise area. This time, with new ground-penetrating radar technology, they scanned the forest floor. And they found something. Buried in a shallow grave, less than 100 yards from a hunting blind Mark Davies was known to use, investigators discovered small, skeletal remains. Dental records confirmed it was Lily Miller. The discovery shattered the family, but it also broke the case wide open. Lily had been found. Now, they could bring her home and focus entirely on finding Sarah. The discovery of Lily's body gave prosecutors the leverage they needed. They presented Mark Davies with a mountain of circumstantial evidence and the new, damning location of Lily's grave. Facing the possibility of a death penalty charge for the murder of a child, Mark's resolve crumbled. In a bid to avoid the death penalty, he agreed to lead investigators to Sarah. On a cold gray morning in August 2024, Mark Davies, shackled and surrounded by police, pointed to a remote, decommissioned quarry on the edge of the state forest. He claimed that on the night of the murder, after a violent confrontation, he had disposed of Sarah's body in the deep, stagnant waters of the quarry's main pit. A dive team was dispatched. The water was murky, visibility near zero. After hours of searching, a diver's hand brushed against something wrapped in heavy-duty tarp, weighted down with rocks. It was secured with the same brand of industrial zip ties found in Mark's garage. They had found Sarah Miller. With both bodies recovered and a full confession, the legal proceedings moved swiftly. Mark Davies was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. To avoid a trial and the certain life sentence or death penalty it would bring, he accepted a plea deal. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In her victim impact statement, Sarah's mother, Elaine, faced the man who destroyed her family. "You didn't just take my daughter and my granddaughter," she said, her voice steady with a grief that would never fade. "You took their futures. You took Lily's high school graduation, her wedding day. You took the comfort of my old age. We have a life sentence of missing them, and you have a life sentence of thinking about what you did. I hope their memories haunt you in every silent moment you have left." The story of Sarah Miller is a tragic one, but it is not a rare one. Her final act, taking that dark, blurry photo, was an act of incredible bravery. It was her way of ensuring that, even if she couldn't save herself, she would point the way to her killer. Her story is a stark reminder of the very real dangers of coercive control and intimate partner violence. It teaches us to trust our instincts, to listen when a friend says they are scared, and to recognize the patterns of isolation and manipulation that can precede tragedy. If you or someone you know is in a situation that feels unsafe, you are not alone. Please reach out. Your courage could save a life. ****. Sarah and Lily Miller did not die in vain. Their story can be a beacon of awareness, a call to action to look closer, to listen harder, and to stand up for those who may be struggling in silence. Share their story. Honor their memory. And together, let's break the cycle. What are your thoughts on this heartbreaking case? Let's have a respectful discussion in the comments below. And if you found this video important, please share it to help raise awareness. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for interesting stories like this.